Gandhi and all these other people, and I think that, and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and I think that's the category of person that, when I discovered Sheikh Ahmed Bamba, I really felt like, I was like, why isn't he talked about as much as people talk about Malcolm X or someone like that? Because when I first started practicing Islam, Malcolm X was a big influence for me, you know? And then I didn't realise that there's someone else out there who's born and raised in the Muslim world, and he, not only did he have a struggle against the colonial people and liberating his people, but he was also a scholar and like a Sufi saint of the highest level. And the book, it goes into detail about his scholasticism as well, as an Islamic scholar, which was really like nice, because I have a lot of questions. I asked Sayyidina about a lot of questions in the beginning. What did the Sheikh know this? What about this science and this and that and this Qur'an and the Sheikh, he actually goes into detail. When he was this age, he mastered this science from his father, then he studied with his uncle, and his uncle was the same. And then he went and he started teaching these students this subject, and then he graduated to this subject. So it takes you through his journey as a scholar, as he learns more things. And then it also talks in detail about the exile. Obviously, when you research online, it'll tell you the Sheikh, he was exiled to Gabon, an island, and that he prayed on water. But that's it really. They don't really tell you anything else, you know. But here they're telling you, the Sheikh tells you in detail. St. Louis, Mayumba, all these places. He was here. He was doing this, and then it talks about miracles that I didn't know about. Because obviously people talk about that. You know, he prayed on water and stuff like that. But other than that, people don't really talk. But it talks about when he was with the French army in Gabon, and they tied him up and they tried to shoot him, and it didn't work. You know, that's like a really profound moment to me in Islamic history. Like when you read about the miracles of Abdul Qadir Jilani or all of these other major saints, people talk about it like it's a mighty miracle, whereas the Muslims, by and large, around the world, outside of the Murid and Senegalese community, they don't know about these things. Or that when he was being held in Gabon, that he saw the soldiers of Badr one night, all of these things, and that it's astounding how many miracles happen on a regular basis when he was, like, throughout his life, and it increased and increased, and even when he came back, when he went to Mauritania and Sarsara and these places, and the ulama of Mauritania, they also made bay'ah to him. And obviously today in the world, we know how knowledgeable the scholars of Mauritania are. Even, you know, non-Sunni, like people, they learn from Mauritanian ulama. Even in Saudi, a lot of the ulama, they learn there from Mauritanian ulama. And so all of those families, you know, in the towns of Mauritania, I forgot the name of the town, but you know, like there's Shanqit and all of these other places, scholars of that level, they made bay'ah saying that Sheikh Ahmed Bamba, he is the mujaddid of our time, at their time. That's a real like testament to how high level of scholar he was in his time. And it also talks about as well, because another question that I had was, because I can't read the Qasaid in English, I read a lot of like Islamic books from other scholars. It's been translated, you know, Imam Nawawi and like all of the faith, you know, Ibn Ata'Allah and all of these people is in English. That a lot of the Arab writing is in English, but not a lot of the West African Islamic tradition has been translated. So I wasn't able to access it, and through the book, so much of the content of this book is told through the Qasaid of the Sheikh. So actually, through reading it, you get to read through pretty much all of his major writing in order of when he's writing it in his life, which it really helps me to understand and visualize. And it also talks about his process and his style of writing, the acrostics, and also that who he's transmitting from. Because early on, if you're not knowledgeable about tasawwuf and the tradition, you might just think that he's writing it purely off his inhibition. But actually, he's transmitting the writings of Al-Daymani and Al-Ghazali and other writers. And I didn't know about Al-Daymani, so then I went and researched Al-Daymani. who is a major West African scholar who preceded him, or in sub-Saharan Africa. And so then it starts to paint a picture of the Isnad and all of the things that are going on around that, and it puts him into context within the wider Islamic history and geography, and it really is enlightening, and it actually just makes you further believe in the truth of his wilaya and the haqq of his writing and of his authority. So yeah, I want to thank you, Sheikh, for writing this book. I learned a lot from it. I'm going to read it again and again, and I'm going to share it with other people as well, inshallah. And I hope that through this book, people all over the world will be able to really have access to the writing and the life of the Sheikh, and many people will come to know his nur, inshallah.
MashaAllah. Thank you so much.
The Sheikh said, thank you very much. You could hear that. That was deep, your talk indeed. And I can tell that you've learned a lot from this book, mashallah. And mainly that was his ambition, to spread the word, paint a vivid picture of Shaykhuna Ahmadul Khalid, who remains a mystery. Because as you said, we came to talk about his miracles related to the exile when he was in a cell with a lion or things like that. And then he says his main miracle is his handwriting. And
one thing I forgot to mention actually, I completed the book in the beginning of Rabi al-Awwal, and when I was reading it, near the end, it talks about when the Shaykh composed Nur al-Daryan, and it talks about how the Shaykh himself said that this is worth many more times than Dalal al-Khairat. And at that time I was going and I was reading Dalal al-Khairat with the circle many times. So I was thinking, okay, in the daytime I'm going to read Dalal al-Khairat, then in the night time I started listening to and reading along with Nur al-Daryan. The rest of the Muslim world, they're reading the texts, which are the base level, but they don't touch the level of the spiritual magnitude of the way the Shaykh composed his qasaid at the time. So if I had this translated and wasn't able to read it, I would still be reading the basic stuff. You know what I mean?
And as you said, Djibril will have the floor, inshallah. Just to cut it short, as you explain about Dalail al-Khairat, he says Nur Darayni puts a share in Dalail al-Khairat, which is quite impressive. And also during the exile, he put the Jalibat al-Maraghi on the ocean, expecting to get it back. Then a gendarme or a French officer gave it back to him, saying, this looks like your handwriting, to confirm what you've just said about Dalail al-Khairat and Nur Darayni. Then people, in the Muslim world, they know Dalail al-Khairat, but Nur Darayni remains a mystery, and that means we are not spreading it enough. Then there is room for improvement, definitely. I'll give Sayyidina Djibril the floor, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now, I don't want to go too far out there, because I can get carried away. But reading the book, I'm looking at from a spiritual perspective, an internal spiritual journey. And reading it, it shows how spiritual, highly spiritual the Sheikh was. And he also, thanks be to the author, that he documented what spirituality he used to get to where he got to. Okay? Now, he's learned all the styles of Sufism. And then he went one step more, and he correlated the teachings and the method of how these styles taught, okay, consolidated into meridian, so that it can be easily accessed by the African with the mindset that they have, the oneness that they have, the unity that they have. Okay? So, you know, it goes back to where the Prophet was given the order that he came to this world to teach mankind, not just any particular group. He came to mankind. That means every single soul. Okay? And it's incumbent on every Muslim to do what? Seek knowledge. Seek knowledge. Therefore, you have to learn to read. Physically, mentally, spiritually. And I find with this book, it gives me the tools that I can use to raise my spirituality to a level. It's not easy, it's hard work. But like any seed that is planted in the ground, the first formative days is a struggle because it has to push out of the ground, it has to come out of the skin that is in before it can grow and show its beauty. And that's what this book, for me personally, it gives me the opportunity to look at myself as an individual, where I'm lacking, where I have my strength, to improve on my strength and to my weakness, to grow, to change, to be that person. Okay? And, you know, for it to be clear in what we call layman's language, that means anyone across the world who take up the book in their own language can get the essence of what the Sheikh is trying to do and what he said. Okay? And I've always said, my Senegalese brothers, you are so lucky. You are so lucky. You have all this in your hand, in front of you, around you. You have to capitalize on everything what the Sheikh has given you to improve yourself. Once you've improved yourself, you can improve others. The best of you is the one who has what? The best character. And the Sheikh teaches you how to have the best character. So that anywhere you go and you have this character, you show this character, you show yourself as a murid, yes, you are one step above everybody else. Okay? I've read it, I'm halfway through it, I had to stop, I had to start again, because each time I read it, there's something more that I value. Okay? As many of you know, my journey is different. I come from somewhere past Pluto, somewhere out in the next galaxy. Yes? But I found that it guided me to Senegal, it guided me to Muria, and it was the best thing because it was ordained for that. Okay? And I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that books like these I can read, and it can then confirm to me why I'm here. Okay? And what am I doing here? Okay? So, when you, I wholly ask everyone to buy. English speaking, English reading, buy, read, understand. Okay? And pass on the knowledge. Yeah? Because that's what it's here for. There is no knowledge that has come from Allah that's ever lost. It might start off slow, but once it gets momentum, it's unstoppable. This is one of them. Okay? Read it. Ikra. Read. Understand. Become part of it. Okay? And there are many more books that will be interpreted, rewritten, so that mankind can benefit. We're in the days where knowledge is going to be hidden because of what's happening in the world. We are going to have to seek knowledge harder than before. Those who have knowledge will be hidden. And only those who seek earnestly will find those people with knowledge. So please, my brothers, gain knowledge. Learn, read. Okay?
MashaAllah, Sayyidina Djibril. Kon am naa jëbal kàddu gi. Jëbal kàddu gi bàyyi fàllu. Ko def ci koy voilà, sëñ bi. Est-ce que mi ngi dox? ñi bëgg sëñ bi kiyal leen ba noppi dédicacé leen livre bi. Mën nañ yegg seen rek ba livre yi dafa tey.
أعوذ بالله بسم الله إن ولي الله وجل كلامي راسلا ومرسلا وفكرتي نور وحل يرسلا خمنا بوك تالبي